Alright, me, Gus, and Kevin are all out here trying to get some deer. Kevin still needs to get his first buck. Gus needs a doe to be able to kill his second buck. He killed a dandy 10-pointer yesterday. And I'm out here to get a doe for the landowner. Had a buddy of mine make some deer jerky and they absolutely loved it, so I'm gonna try to get another doe. Got a little dusting of snow last night. It's breezy and cold this morning. I hope this wind doesn't overtake us, but we're gonna do what we can. So I'm actually on the edge of this farm that I've hunted for over 10 years. I'm on an edge. I've never been at this place. Decided to come over here because I'm tagged out on bucks and killed a doe. Just in here with a couple of buddies of mine on doe patrol, but not hunting too serious. So I decided to just come over here and take a look at it. And I bet I've passed 30 rubs in the last 50 yards. I mean, just rubs everywhere. That's what lockdown looks like. That buck is locked down with 4 or 5 does in that one little area. It's real thick between the fields. He's got one doe in behind him he's trying to keep up with, and I think 3 or 4 just in front of him, down below him. I'm gonna leave him alone, let him handle his business. So I was in here on the first day of muzzleloader season. All I found for sign was one deer bed. Now there's rubs all over, scrapes all over. That's super fresh right there. That is very fresh. It is actually a doe day. And I walked through the wide open to that. This is the distance away. That is crazy. Just sit there and look at me. There's another one up in there with it. Yesterday, I was in a different county where it's doe day every day and couldn't find a doe. Today, I don't even have a gun with me. And that thing is 13, 14 yards away. It's crazy. It's like they know. I just found the biggest rub I believe I've ever found in my entire life. Real thick cedar tree here. You see the fresh shavings all on the ground. I mean, kicked all the way even back to over here. But that thing is absolutely legit. Look at that. I mean, I'll put my hand up here just for a reference, but that is a huge rub from my neck of the woods. There's something big working this ridge. I got 3 cameras on, and I'm gonna go up and pull the SD cards, set a cell cam up, and try to figure out what's going on here. Look at the acorns here. And it's like that all over this ridge. Like, all over it. I'm just gonna start calling this Acorn Ridge. I mean, it's crazy how many acorns fall whenever we have a good crop. This is the ridge that probably produces the most on the property. Alright, so I'm on one of the properties that I got permission to be on and have been here for quite some time. I do not hunt it very often. It's always just something I have way back in my back pocket if I'm struggling at other places, but that's just usually not the case, and so I don't come here hardly at all. But I do enjoy running trail cameras here because I used to live in this area, and I got a lot of memories here hunting and such back before I moved away. So I come in here today, and I've never seen, in all the time I've ever been associated with this property, I've never seen like the scrape line. This is just enormous scrapes right here. It's absolutely crazy how many that there are. There's another one right over here, and it's just one of, probably just across the top of this ridge alone, there's probably just shy of 20. They're everywhere I look, all the way down across the top of this ridge. The ridge will actually switch back and go down the ridge, back down into the creek, and there's 4 or 5 down there also. Found several small rubs, one decent sized rub. You can see these trees have been rubbed on. Nothing big as far as the size of the trees here. I've only had 4 cameras here. There's another, like one of the many down through here, but I've only had 4 cameras here, and I haven't checked them in about 2.5 months. And 2 of the 4 cameras have been knocked off of where they needed to be pointed by bears. So I'm pretty upset with that. But the 2 that I really needed to, well, 3 of them I really needed to stay in play. But the one at the end of the field was still pointed correctly. And the one on a mock scrape I just established was still pointing correctly. So they should have what's doing this on there, especially the mock scrape, because it looks like it has been heavily used. I mean, it really took. It's a rope scrape. So the creek crossing's the other one I'd really like to have had, because the scrape line is on both sides of the creek there, and I know whatever was doing it was crossing quite a bit. But I have no idea when the bears knocked it off. But this is just an example of the kind of, I mean, just giant scrapes. I mean, this buck is making, or these bucks are making big scrapes. So that's pretty cool that, they're so big that tells me it's probably a mature animal. But I'm going to check those SD cards and I'll show you guys the best of what I got. Just passed one a little bit bigger than this, but this one looks really fresh. Hopefully whatever it is, it survived and I can have them in my back pocket for next year. But I'm you know, the landowners are very private people, kind of like me, and they know I'm very discreet. I leave no trace. Anything I pack in, I pack out. And I don't come in here very much, hardly at all, just other than just checking cameras here and there. But it's just nice to know that I have it if I get in a way and I just need somewhere different to hunt. You done went over and went face to face with a big buck. Or a bigger buck. He saw that doe in there and he said, I'm gonna go over and check out that doe. And then all of a sudden this other buck stood up. That's a good buck right there. So evidently that buck he's down there in the cedar now with that doe, but he had a whole group of satellite bucks. It might be a deer bed right there. Doesn't really look mashed down, just cleared out. Could have just been feeding there, but there's droppings everywhere in here. All right, I'm in here doing some scouting, post-season scouting, and well, it's before late muzzleloader season, but I'm not doing any more hunting this year. So I just saw a really nice buck, definitely a second tag shooter. in an area that I can only bow hunt. I need to get more into bow hunting, so that's kind of what I'm targeting now. But this area is just, I mean, this trail is just wore out. I've set a trail camera down at the end of it, and just droppings everywhere I look. But I'm gonna hit the ravine and skirt this other side here and see what it looks like. That is a good sized cedar tree rubbed, but I see a rub up in there. I'm gonna really check out. Looks like it's really wore out. Now that's a couple legit rubs right there. I'm gonna be setting a trail camera on this point. Looks like about 4 trails converge right here. So I'm gonna set a camera up and see if I can get anything next couple months. So what do you think? Is this a well-used trail or what? Deer tracks just all in it. I just set a trail camera down here on these big rubs because this trail comes up and breaks right there at the rubs. But I think I'd rather have it over here on the trail because this thing is just flat wore out. We'll move it real quick. So I just finished setting that camera on that real worn out trail, and I start coming back up this way and find a shed. It's all right there. Don't know if it had brow tine or not, but it's been chewed a little bit there. They may have took it off, but it's got good mass to it. Alright, so when you find one shed, you really want to look around close. Sometimes that where that one falls off, it freaks the imbalance, freaks the buck out, and they'll shake their heads to try to throw the other shed. So this is a direction I didn't even plan on coming, but I found this real defined trail right here. So I said, well, I'm going to walk around the trail and continue to look, because in these pines, I mean, they really stand out, you know, in the pine needles. So I start coming around this trail, and lo and behold, I find another shed. But I don't believe, you know, this isn't going to be a match. Kind of like this one though. It looks like the brow tine's been. Seems like they chew that brow tine before anything else. It's been chewed a lot. I guess they've been sitting here chewing on that point, but definitely not a match. It's thinner, but that's pretty cool, man. I'm gonna keep looking. I might find another. This trail just stays going up through here, so I'm going to stay on it and see what I can find. All right, setting a couple new cell cams back here in the back field. All right, I just got the second one set up. This one's up high. With these cell cameras, I'm really worried about bears. So this one's well out of reach. The other one is also, but this one's well out of reach of a bear. And this giant is locked down on a doe. She was just bedded where he's walking to now and got up, so he's going after her. Just pushed her up in the woods. She's right up in there. There, he's gonna come through after her.